Hello, darlings. This is Peri Lyons in New York City, celebrity psychic. Forgive the lack of makeup. This is all me. So I'm staying in the suburbs this week, which I am a New York City girl, born and bred. And things like traffic jams, they don't even occur to me in the suburbs. It's like, huh? Anyway, so we're going to get to our psychic tarot weather for the week in a moment. But there's been a lot of fascinating news about possible extraterrestrial visitors lately. It's amazing because my fiance's father was an RAF pilot in World War II. And pilots have kind of this, it's not a secret between them, but pilots know an awful lot about UFOs because, as my partner's father would say, we saw those bleeders all the bloody time. He's English. He doesn't actually have a speech defect, as I just made it sound. So pilots are if you talk to a professional pilot or get them drunk, preferably after the flight, you'll find out that it's pretty common for UFOs to just be part of daily life for them. And I quickly wanted to share my UFO story because, of course, I'd have one. I know I'm going to say at least 75% of you guys have one too that you probably haven't told anyone. But since now, the government is suddenly saying, oh, yeah, we have all these files. It's not actually that much of a secret. We just didn't tell you. So quickly, before we get to the psychic weather, I just wanted to share this with you because you are my cherished ducklings, and I love you. And I'm shiny. Woo! Okay. So I was about 17, and I was living in Greenwich Village in New York City, and I used to jog around Washington Square Park every night. I was modeling at the time, and I don't know why I just said that, but I was. So one night, it was this beautiful summer night. Everybody, all the tourists from New Jersey, everybody was out. And I was jogging, and something caught my attention. And right above the NYU building on the east side of the park, there was this, it was not just a UFO. It was like the UFO that you sort of see in movies. It was like flying saucer shaped, what with being a flying saucer and all. And it was so cliche that I stopped running. I kind of went is that real? And I looked up, it was still there. And it had flashing lights all around the periphery of the saucer and flashing all different colors. And then the little dome part was this extremely bright, white lights. I mean, incredibly bright. And the thing was, it made these amazing movements. It went whoop up and then whoop to the side and then it didn't actually say whoop, just so you know, but it sounded sort of like that. And then it went whoop straight up, and it was nothing. It was going so fast and in such bizarre ways that it was obvious to me that this was, not some kid's lost drone. It was a flying saucer. So I stood there and I looked up and I pointed and said there were hundreds of people around Washington Square Park that night. So I pointed and I said, look, everybody, it's a flying saucer. And nobody looked up. Everybody walked by me, or they said, she's on drugs. I was so not on drugs. I was wearing my little Adidas running outfit. I was, I was so not on drugs. And I watched this thing going, pardon the expression, but whoop, whoop, but nobody looked. And so I I was like, okay, well, can't do anything about it. So I finished my run and went home, and I called the police department. And I said, hello, in my best sort of high-class sounding accent, acting training. My name is Peri, and I have rather an odd question to ask you. And this is it. Has anybody, just out of curiosity, reported a flying saucer or anything, or an unidentified flying object of any kind? The officer, being a New York cop, said, like, lady, are you high? I'm like, totally not. I've got my like Adidas running outfit on. He wasn't impressed, nor should he have been. And he said, no, lady, nobody's called and said anything like that. I put the phone down. Okay, so fast forward about 2 years later, I'm reading in the New York Times, there's this thing called Metropolitan Diary, in which people just write their little stories about New York stuff that happened to them. I open the paper and I'm reading, and suddenly this woman has written into Metropolitan Diary, and she said, this is late and I'm going to sound crazy, but 2 years ago, I live right next to Washington Square Park, and I saw this like cliche movie kind of flying saucer with flashing lights around the edge and a little really bright white dome, and it was going whoop. And that's what she actually said, whoop. So I knew it was the same saucer. And she said, I just wanted to say to anybody out there, if you saw that too, I wasn't high. I'm like, yes, but were you wearing Adidas running outfits? I'm not crazy, but I saw it too, so you're not crazy. There was no way to get in touch with her. But so that was my confirmation that I had actually seen this thing. And I'm telling you, it was not from this planet. So if you have a flying saucer story, or if you have a UFO encounter, I'd be really curious. Go to my homepage on Facebook.com. Peri Lyons, PeriLyons on Facebook, Peri Lyons. It says psychic for skeptics and smart people on that page. And just tell me your story. And I'll read the best story on next week's show. And I also have a little flying saucer-shaped necklace to give out that you can treasure forever. So anyway, Tammy from Minnesota, I'm so glad you're here. Are you still there, my love?
Oh, yep, I am.
Sorry.
Yeah, we saw like a Starlink not too long ago, but it was similar. You thought it was science stuff at first. And then it was a Starlink. It was a bunch of drones, I guess, that Elon Musk or whatever, the head of Tesla, has put. Oh, it was satellite. It was like 60 satellites. And it just looked like stars. It just looked like, yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, that's so
we didn't know what we were looking at.
I love that. And of course it would turn out to be Elon, right? So I don't think he was born when this thing happened. Well, I'm not that old, but I think he was probably in grade school at the time. So I'm pretty sure the one I saw wasn't to do with him. But I'm so happy you're here. Welcome. And excuse the lack of makeup. I managed to put some blush on. That was it. So, you got such a nice energy. Yummy. So I like to connect to people by having them tell me what their birthday is. So you don't have to tell me the year.
Oh, that was fine.
Yeah.
6/16/1976.
Oh, you're just a baby. Oh, cool.
A bunch of sixes in my birthday.
Right. I had a friend who lived at 667 West 14th, and we used to call him next door neighbor of the beast. But
you're right. I know. I was like, thank God for that 7 in there.
So you said June 17th, right? June 16th, right?
June 16th, yeah.
Cool. Happy almost birthday. Cool. Right, let me see. You've got a lot of performer energy. I mean, I don't know if that's something you feel like pursuing in this lifetime. But and you're very funny. So I don't know whether the world is opening back up again and we have all these possibilities. I don't know. You ever thought about going to an open mic and maybe doing a little stand up? You'd be kind of awesome at that. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I like
what?
karaoke. Is
like
always fun to do. Yeah.
So let's see if I can sense what your question is, or I could just ask you. So, what's your question, my love?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I was just like wondering if yeah, any like prospects for relationship wise coming in the near future, hopefully. Like, better than what I've better than what I've had.
I think everybody, the fact that everybody in the world is asking that question today, because things are opening up. People have been inside. It's a gorgeous day. Go ahead. Yeah. So girls aren't the only one asking that question, just so you know. Boys are asking it even more than girls. So, but specifically in your case, that's a big yes. And let me draw a couple of cards here. Oh, and I'll do. Oh my gosh, that's so great! The first card I got is this. It's my one of my top 3 favorite cards to get ever for anybody, especially people I like. Yeah. So this is 2 people exchanging golden cups at they're equal. They're almost the same height. So this is a new kind of relationship for you. Because in the past, like all of us, you kind of had relationship training wheels on for a long time. You were learning what you didn't want,
Right. Yeah.
And now you're ready for what you do want. Yeah, right? Like you went through the narcissists, you went through the cheater, you did all the things that we have to do in order to get to the
literally
good stuff.
all the things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you're so sweet. You always kind of blamed yourself. I mean, that's not because you're such a good person. It's hard for you to see when people are just genuinely kind of rotters.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you learned. This card, if you'll notice, that is the Archangel Michael's symbol at the top. And then there's Asclepius, which is that medical thing between them in the middle. Very healing. And the cups they're exchanging are going from the throat chakra down to the root chakra, which means that this is a relationship based on truth and based on great communication, also based on a lot of physical attraction. So when I get this card first, we like that. Before I pick the next card, I'm going to ask you to do something. Don't do it now, but when you get off the phone, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take a piece of paper and a pen. I know that's very old-fashioned, and set a timer for like 2 minutes and write down everything you want in a relationship. I'm going to guess that you like men. I'd like to be, it's fun if you like women, llamas, whatever. But my vibe is, So just sort of sit for a minute, breathe, and everybody should try this because I'm telling you, it works. Okay. I've got somebody in the next room proving that it does work. I didn't have a date for 4 years at one point, and I was, I was very blonde and in great shape. I was also wearing opium perfume, which should be called man repellent, but don't wear opium perfume. What I want you to do is take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just say, work through me, higher power, and just have me write down exactly what I want in a partner, and make sure to add somewhere faithful, honest, and supportive. But aside from that, just let it flow out of you and don't censor yourself. When I did that, one of the first things I wrote was, has to be born in another country. It's like, what? Where'd that come from? And my fiance is either British or he's very pretentious. Haven't figured it out. But so try that. And after you're done, look at the paper say, and so it is, thank you, and then set it on fire. I mean, responsibly, don't just like, don't burn your house down. But so do that, and I'm going to pick your next card. One of the things that's interesting that I think is going to happen with this next relationship is this card is interesting because I'm going to stop using the word interesting. Or I'll keep using it. You guys can use it as a drinking game. Every time I use the word interesting, like, so this card indicates to me that after you've made this list and this person appears, you might ask yourself, is this person too good to be true? And the answer is, no, he's good and he's true. I'm not going to go into explaining this whole card, but just trust me, that's what it means. Okay. And the final card, I love this, is the Empress card. Now, the Empress card is it's not only the happy wife and mother card, if that's something you want to do again. Nice. Yeah, but if you look at her, she is reclining on the luxurious velvet. I don't know, is that a beanbag chair? That's not so luxurious, but she's reclining. She looks very luxurious and she looks happy. And she has a crown of stars, so she's very spiritual. And she is holding a scepter, so she has earthly power. And I'm guessing this girl has some cheddar too, if you know what I'm saying. So this is somebody who is a successful woman. She is financially secure. We like that. And that's something also that's going to change for you in the next 8 to 9 months. You're going to see a big, I'm just going to do this because I love doing it, but we're going to keep talking about that part.
It might have to do with performing. You never know.
That's true. If you do the stand-up, you get discovered and you're a millionaire next year. Tip your psychic. Okay.
Right.
But you have a good job. You're very good at it. You're very hard worker and very conscientious. You're a little too modest. You don't call enough attention to how, because it's kind of jerky to do that. But you might want to let them know how good a job you're doing. So going back to the romance thing, I'm not worried about your work. You're fine. I think this is somebody, I don't think you're going to meet this person on a dating app, although you're welcome to try. They used to make me just want to put my head in the oven, but it's an electric oven. So since it's an electric oven, the worst that would happen would be I'd get a perm. But I think this is somebody you're going to meet possibly through friends. Might be a little bit of a setup, though. I don't think they're going to tell you that. And I don't think you're like somebody who just goes to bars. Not that there is anything wrong with that. But I think it will be in a bar or restaurant setting with friends. I think you're going to bring somebody with them and then ding, 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 ding. So that's going to happen. And I think you're going to go through a couple of, you're going to cycle through a couple of like first and second dates, but don't take them too seriously. This is going to happen within 6 months, possibly around 3.5. Like, hold on, let me check my watch. Oh, it's not a watch, it's a scrunchie. But I think I'm getting 3.5 months. So bizarrely specific, but there you go. Yeah, and that's about, I think that, you're going to date 2 people before this. And then I think you'll have either just be parting company with the second one or have just honestly dumped him. Yeah. And I think this is going to be a new kind of relationship for you. And since I really like you, I'm just going to say this is what you deserve in a good way. Got it? Oh, are you still there, baby? Where'd you go? Come back. Come back. Okay. Well, I'm going to do the psychic weather while we're waiting for Miss Tammy. And, I'm on, this is Moonstruck TV that you're watching, or maybe you're listening to this, A1R Radio. You can find us on Twitch, a million different places. Okay. Hi, Tammy. I'm just doing a plug for the show. So I'm on I'm on every Wednesday at 9 p.m. EST. Hang out, Tammy. We're going to finish this, right? Okay.
Yeah.
You're important. So, so bring your friends, gather around the TV on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. EST. I'm always live. You never know what'll happen. And so if you're watching or listening, everybody come in next week. And meanwhile, I'm going to finish up with my delicious Tammy. We've got 3 minutes. All right, babe.
Okay.
Do you want to hear more about this boy, or have you got another question that we can do in 3 minutes?
Yes, another question. Okay, but my most concerning thing is I have 2 daughters, and I just want to make sure that they're just going to be okay, and that's like my real.
Oh, they're going to be more than okay. They're so cute. Are they? I might completely get this wrong because, but I don't think are they like 9 and 13, that general area, or a little younger?
Yep, I got one that age. Yep, and then the other one's 21.
Oh, sorry.
11 and 21.
Okay, I got the 11. Wasn't expecting. You sound really young, so I keep thinking you're like 24. But they're both fine. It's funny, they're very similar and very different at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Either they look very similar and they act different, or anyway, you know what I mean. Oh, they're adorable. And the youngest one is a hoot. Is she really funny?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the older one's she's got this lovely kind of graceful serenity to her. And they're so smart.
Yeah.
Tell the older one for me, don't tell her not to be scared. It's not you. She was born being kind of a little reserved and not wanting to push herself forward. She's very smart, and there's a lot of opportunity out there for her right now. So tell her to think bigger for herself. Okay? And if she says don't be pushy, just say, "Oh, I'll blame it on that broad on Moonstruck." And the last thing I'm going to say is, I think you're going to be married within the next. I mean, if that's something you want, or at least happily living in sin. I prefer married because I like jewelry.
That would be great.
Yeah, I really get that. If you go back on YouTube, and why would you, and watch my old shows, you'll see that I have like a really high accuracy rate, and so I'm going to stand by that. And
so do I need to wear like more rose quartz to help?
Sure, rose quartz and a Victoria's Secret bombshell bra, which is the secret to that bra. Yeah, I'm telling you, changed my life. No, you're going to be fine. You've got one last card here. Yeah, you've got a lot of opportunity coming up, and I think you have one of the best years of your entire life coming up. And I don't say that kind of thing. And when I say it, I mean it. Yeah. So stay in touch. Let me know how you are. Come back next week. And just what a joy to meet you. And thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
And you're welcome, darling. All my cherished ducklings, come back next week. I promise I'll do the hair and makeup and look cute for y'all. And I've got a really cool thing to tell you. So, come back next week. I'm Peri Lyons, Peri, like periwinkle. Lyons, like her, but with that Y. And on Moonstruck TV, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live, because that would be kind of icky. And I can't wait to see you next week.